Hi and welcome to Raz Reviews. As you can see, I'm in a new place, which is why I've been on hiatus for a while, but I'm back. And today I'm going to be reviewing Eternals. Eternals is directed by Chloé Zhao, who won an Oscar last year for God knows why. And it follows the story of a bunch of immortal, superpowered ancient beings that came to Earth thousands of years ago to fight other ancient viney beings and to help the humans evolve, and that's pretty much it. They weren't really allowed to do much else. So Ultron almost destroying the Earth, not really their thing. Thanos snapping half of non-life on Earth in a universe out of existence. Not allowed to interfere. Yeah. Look, this movie is getting a lot of hate from critics. There are people who don't like it. There are people who love it. So it's kind of a mixed bag and it's getting mixed reviews from people. I personally didn't hate the Eternals, but I didn't love it either. Look, if I'm going to sum up all of its problems, it would be one thing. Eternals should have been a TV series. That's it. The end. Really fixes everything. Thank you. See ya. No, but seriously, it's not like Disney doesn't have a streaming place where they do series. Look, I'll give the movie credit where credit is due. It looks gorgeous, looks like it's shot on location, which is pretty cool, and I think the MCU should do that more often. And yes, it is a film that has quite a diverse cast, which is impressive and nice to see, and the movie can, tap itself on the shoulder for that. But that's not enough to make a good movie. That's window dressing. A movie still has to work regardless of the good-natured things it does, like diverse casting. The problem with Eternals is that it tries to do so much without doing any of it completely or well. So it ends up feeling like a big directionless, unevenly toned mess. That's also kind of boring. I really don't get it. Who on earth thought it was a good idea to introduce, 10 main characters, a bunch of cosmic entities and concepts, a religion, a whole new set of rules for the universe and how it was made and how it was born and how it works in one movie?
Oh my God, it's gonna blow!
How do you expect that to work? We don't have enough time. Most of the plot revolving around these characters finding each other. And of course that's gonna take 2 hours. There's 10 of them. And then when they do find each other, the movie is basically just a bunch of board meetings where they sit around and discuss what's happening and what they need to do about it and who agrees and disagrees. That's not fun. It's just basically like, what are we gonna do about the thing? Oh, I didn't know about the thing. What is the thing? Explain it to me. We have to do this thing because this thing, humanity, is important. I don't think we should do the thing. I think our mission is more important than the humanity and the thing that you're talking about. No, I disagree with you. How did you disagree with me? I don't know what to do. I don't think I want to be here. I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna do the thing you want me to do. Bye. Storm out. Wait, no, don't storm out. I will follow you. And then they leave a bunch of people in the room to discuss the thing while we cut between that and the 2 people who stormed out discussing another thing outside. Mostly, about how they feel about each other. Look, conceptually, this movie could have been awesome. Like the ideas and the philosophical questions and ponderings that these ancient characters discuss are actually cool and intriguing. But the movie never jumps into that pool of intellectual awesomeness. It just dips its toes in it and then goes back into MCU stuff. It never really sticks the landing on any of these cool things that it sets up. There's really interesting character dynamics. There's really interesting internal conflict, external conflict, but we never really dive in. We're just on the surface most of the time. And I never spend enough time with the characters to care about what's going on. Like, we never really connect emotionally, so we don't feel the stakes. If this guy dies, okay, that's kind of sad, I guess. And a lot of the characters felt underdeveloped. A lot of the characters felt underutilized. Like, for example, Angelina Jolie's Athena is a really cool character. Super underused. Gilgamesh was a cool character. Makari, the deaf one, cool character. Really underutilized in the film. We barely see them. Kumail Nanjiani was there just to crack a bunch of jokes, and they were kind of funny. His assistant character was actually the funniest thing about the movie and the most enjoyable part about it. But other than that, he doesn't really participate. We don't always see all the characters being involved in the big thing that's happening. Why did we meet them in Act 1? That's the problem. This movie has cool ideas, and maybe that's what works for some people, but for me, it's gotta stick the landing. It's gotta pay it off. And the movie doesn't. It kind of glosses over a bunch of things. We set up certain things, and then in the end, it's like, Hey, it happened. Okay. And you have a really cool, diverse cast of actors that I thought did a great job, except for the protagonist, Cersei. First of all, the fact that her name was Cersei was really uncomfortable. Just watching Jon Snow and Robb Stark talk about how much they love Cersei is just, I couldn't. But anyway, more important than that, she really wasn't interesting, and she's sort of the main Eternal that we're focusing on the most. And she's just so dull. The way that the character is written was also not interesting. She doesn't really have that much of an arc. Also, the actress didn't really fit the role. She was quite muted. She was very downplayed. She spent most of the movie just dumbfounded by what's going on, just like, oh no, oh, what's happening? Oh no, this is sad. And this movie did feel long, which to me is interesting after watching something like Dune, which was longer, but felt shorter. I did not want that film to end, even though it was slower paced. Even like tonally, the movie is very inconsistent. I felt like Eternals didn't know what it wanted to be. Are you a comedy? Are you a serious? Are you, I don't know which one, and it felt lost between the two. And that's why both tones didn't really work well. When the movie tried to be funny, sometimes it was pretty funny, but there are a bunch of jokes that don't really land, that don't really work. And I really think a big part of it is directing. I think there are moments that are just cool, that just stick with you or give you an effect. Go, wow! Like for example, Shang-Chi. Not everything about that movie worked, but there were parts in it that were just awesome, that really worked, especially like that fight scene in the bus, for example. It's awesome. I'll go back and watch it. There isn't a single moment from Eternals that has stuck with me, that I keep remembering in my head, that really worked. Not really well directed. It's just very monotone, a little flat sometimes. I mean, maybe it's not the best idea to hire an indie film director whose style is very, downplayed, to direct something at such a big epic scale. Maybe that's not a good fit. Maybe. Yeah, she won an Oscar, but she won an Oscar for something that's more like a documentary. What is she doing directing Eternals? Now look, I'm not saying that an indie director or a director for a small scale film can't make something at big scale. Yes, they can if they are passionate enough about that kind of style. Here, doesn't seem like it is from the end result. I appreciate the film trying to do something a little different than what we're used to from the MCU, and I support that because yeah, we have been living in the MCU formula for a little too long, but if you're gonna go there, frickin' go. We're behind you. Don't just be like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna come. It never went to where it should have gone, I think. And that's why it didn't really work for me. In the end of the day, it wasn't a bad film. It was just a lackluster, dull movie that I, enjoyed it. Still a Marvel movie. I went to the cinema, I watched it, I ate my popcorn, I was like, cool. But it was just okay. It didn't really impress me. It didn't entertain me on a high level. And it most importantly didn't connect with me emotionally at all. It's definitely worth checking out because obviously it has big consequences on the MCU, as everything now does. So you have to watch it if you want to, go forward. But otherwise, it's a fun movie. It could have been better. It's just okay. So I'm gonna give Eternals a 6.5 out of 10. So, have you seen Eternals? Did you like it? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you'd like me to review for you next. See ya!